What is up, everybody? Sorry if I sound a little bit more jacked. I just did my first triathlon swim as part of the swim club. So, getting that training going, which, all things considered, I taught myself to swim a little over a year ago. So, I feel like that's a pretty darn good progress. But yeah, so jacked up. I have about an hour or so to get this video done. And yeah, all that fun stuff, as well as, yeah, just a lot of other things in general, including some travel. First thing in the morning at 5 a.m. So busy schedule right now, but I am here and I am recording and I am looking forward to seeing your guys' comments in response to all my videos. I love some of the comments lately. It's been great. The likes have been good. So keep it up. Let's keep this train rolling. Keep me motivated. You guys do most of that. So, couple things. Couple of things. So I've moved things. Finally, I've moved things. So the controller, thankfully, I moved it. I removed it with a wrench, the crescent hammer here, and it saved all of its data, which is great. So I didn't have to redo every connection that I had in there because there was a lot of connections. And I literally hemmed and hawed about doing it for about 2 hours before I finally clicked on it with the wrench and was like praying to all of the things that it worked out. Um, Other than that, I've kind of moved a couple of things around for this setup. Nothing too crazy though. Just slowly but surely tweaked a few things. I also looked at the stills here and I made more, but guess what? My fermenters are completely out of loot. And I want to show you guys quickly what I'm talking about here. By out of loot, I mean we are out of loot. I put all of my wheat through it. We put all of our saplings through it. So this entire wheat farm that we have right here is gone. Like all of that resource that we collected is gone. I even put the majority of our wheat from over here through it as well. But we need wheat as well for our recipe. So to make our food normally. So that's a thing. So we got yeah. To say the least, it's not keeping up. That's the main message here. It is not keeping up with even the 2 fermenters and the 4 stills that I have installed. So obviously not very efficient. It's not doing the job. And the reason it's not keeping up, and I'll show you guys that next here, okay? So let's head on over to the new section over yonder. I haven't done too much building with it, but I have done a few things, like I've moved some power. I built another solar panel from Mechanism because they're just cheap and they're easy. They're not outputting as much compared to the wind generator at this height and all of those stats and everything like that. And the wind generators are super cheap. I just find them a little ugly, to be honest. But yeah, just this power is cheap and easy. And on Discord, I went back and forth with a few of the regulars over there and stuff like that about power in this pack, and power generation. And I have a few qualms about it. Just in general, like for the most part, what they did is they nerfed all of the outputs of most of the setups, and that doesn't really give you a good. I feel like it doesn't give you a good response to what you need when it comes to power. There's no tier. I could just make 400 solar panels and have enough power, right? So, it kind of promotes a little bit more of a massing of a similar power system rather than maybe branching out and doing multiple and stuff like that. So I don't want to do 400 solar panels. That's boring to me. I don't want to do that. They're also noisy, case in point. I want to try other things. I want to do other power systems, and I want to kind of try to combine them and put them all into one and all of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of detail that I want to get into with that. But back on topic here a little bit is I moved my controller over to here. As you can see, it's got pretty much all the same setup. I did a few other new setups that I'm going to show you as well. But I figured, you know what, once you've kind of set this up, you guys have seen however much XNet setup, right? Like we've done a decent amount of it. So I'm saving you a little bit of that. We'll still probably end up doing some, but yeah. Over here, I started doing a bit of what I really love to do. This is something that when I get to a certain point in a mod pack, right? Especially a modded mod pack where you can generate your own resources and stuff like that without mining and all that kind of stuff. That's not right. That's right. There we go. Fixed it. But yeah, when you can generate your own stuff and whatnot, you should get to it, right? So what I did is I moved our andesite over to here. I moved a cobble gen over to here. Both great things, right? I have an entire drawer, right? So this is basically our first line of storage. Then we have all of our XNet for our outputs and storage of those items. So these guys are your main producer. They're supplying this. This guy is supplying our cobble up there, as well as we have some supplemental cobble still over at the IC2, for example. So basically what this does is it gives us a huge backlog of resources, which is great. We're never really going to, like, the odds of running out of andesite and cobble are going to be pretty low, right? And same thing that we did with the glass over there. As you can see, I have an item stack transfer add-on. This guy's pretty cheap to make. It's not too bad. And you set it by shift right clicking on a block in the direction you want it to output. So it's automatically outputting the glass. So now we have 64 here, and I think we have even, another 64 plus over there, or 32 or something. So we're good on glass for a while. And same with sand, right? And the other thing too is once these guys get full, you're only going to start to use the power when you need to, right? Which is really important. So my power took a huge dive once I got those first set up, right? Because this guy takes like 450. This guy was taking 75. Each one of these were taking 80. Like boom, boom, boom. We were rolling through the power pretty darn quickly. And I hooked up compression dynamos with some augments, and I upgraded them with some kits that I had, reinforced kits, and I'm supplying them with ethanol. So that's why my ethanol supply is pretty much gonzo. But the other thing that we have here is I have a power input from the cube over there. We have the power input from now our solar panels and wind generators. So that's good. So our power is going up at this point in time. This is our output power. So this is the one that's outputting at 80,000 RF per tick. This one is directly inserting into that one. Okay. Once this fills up, I want to have it actually insert into the back one, which is then going to insert into this one. So it gives us multiple cubes. Or I want this one to export into both, right? And then this one back here is going to be the one that I pull out for things like our digital miner, right? Just an example. So these two are stationary at all times. They will continue to do their thing, get their power, all that kind of stuff. And then this one I can remove as required. Move it around, all of that type of stuff. A little infinite water source with water handled their requirements pretty darn easily. There is also an upgrade where it doesn't consume water that we can do, but for now, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But that got me thinking. It got me really thinking. We ran out of biomass very fast. Very fast, as I explained earlier, with all of our biomass and stuff like that. And we have a pretty decent farm. Like, all things considered, I know we're not improving it. We're not fertilizing it. We're not, I don't have greenhouse glass over all of it or anything like that. but overall it's a pretty decent farm. Because we have this farmer, we have the farm over there, and we also have the 2 tree farms, which, you know, okay, forestry tree farms, they're not the greatest. I'll give you that. They're a little slow. There's just not enough saplings to grow, and the way that leaves decay are a little bit questionable, you know, with the forestry farms. So it's not the most ideal setup. I get that, but I was surprised that we went through all of that stuff so quickly. So it kind of got me a little bit thinking. I also removed the biogas engines too, and still nothing, you know. So it definitely got me thinking a lot about power in general, and how I want to do this and what I want to do. And you know what? We have thermal expansion now, right? So I decided, let's explore a little bit. Let's do a little bit of exploration into just some other ways to generate power, right? We're at an okay state right now. We're generating, so it's not dire. I'm not freaking out, you know, oh my God, our power, you know, stuff like that. But if I start mass producing things, we might get into that situation, okay? So what I did is I made, what is this, 16 arboreal extractors, something like that, and I grew these beautiful spruce trees in my base. Now, I don't know, they're big, they look a little ugly in the setup, but I think I can incorporate them pretty nice. I kind of want to have like a broken glass, like they outgrew the dome or outgrew this space over time type scenario with it. And then we're getting resin, okay? So resin is a material that you can use in a fractionating still from thermal expansion. You get a rosin, which works as a slime ball. It's actually a really good source of slime in general. And then you get tree oil. And tree oil in general can be used in those same compression dynamos downstairs to generate around 400,000 RF. Now, this portion here, 100% passive, which is great. You know, we're going to be capitalizing as much as we can on some resin, right? I don't know of any way to get really more out of a single tree. I guess we could go vertical with it, right? I assume you can do that, right? Just scale it all the way up the side. But we're getting a decent amount of resin overall. So let's build a few things here, okay? And let's see what we have. I've collected a whole bunch of goodies, basically. Oh yeah, this quantum suit. I forgot to put this back. This is like my 3rd quantum chest plate, and it's like, how many quantum chest plates do you really need, Mr. Kryllyk? I have 5 now. Yeah. This inventory situation's a little bit questionable. We might need to get that solved soon enough. But yeah, so let's see what we have. We have a few different things. There's a lot of different tools that we need to utilize and for different purposes, okay? So I went and used the digital miner in the Nether. Very good way to get some resources. I've already processed some of those resources accordingly, but there's a whole bunch here that I haven't processed. You can see the ones that I did were redstone and lapis, right? Redstone and lapis will still be going through an enriching factory. So that'll be that guy right there. Okay, so that'll be our preferable method of, you know, producing things like nether quartz, redstone, and lapis. Okay, now I'm going to want one of these for each one. Right? That's how we're going to do this. We're going big. We're going bigger at this point in time. Now's the time where we get to kind of sit back and we go, okay, how are we really going to develop this stuff? Right? So we're going to go big. I'm going to need more of those, but we'll get to that in due time. Okay? The other thing is I have a whole bunch of machine frames, and I have a whole bunch of items for things like pulverizers and induction smelters and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's build some of those first here, and then we'll carry on from there. We'll do our crafting on a stick, and we'll take a look. So the pulverizers are a very good block. Very nice block. I'm going to make 3 of them right off the get-go. Nice and easy. And the other one is the induction. Yeah, the induction smelter right there. Bingo. Beautiful. And last but not least, I'm going to make a redstone furnace as well from thermal expansion. These are all good things. I kind of got them prepared ahead of time, which is super awesome. And there we go. The quest should start to roll in here. I think redstone furnace I was supposed to make first. It's fine. It's fine. No big deal. No big deal. All right. Let's clean up a couple things here. What was this crafting table for? I honestly don't remember. It's fine. Probably just a spare. Probably just a spare. Okay. And then I also have a double crusher and a powered furnace from Actually Additions. Okay. Now, a couple of quick things. So the crusher itself, or the double crusher in this regard, does have some fantastic uses. Sugar cane into sugar, that's a really good one. But more importantly, I'm worried about the ores, right? Let's talk about the ores. So things like, let's find one here. Nether gold. There's a perfect, well, not really a good example, actually. Nether iron. There's a perfect example, okay? Nether iron is an interesting beast where, okay, you can smelt it and you can go the iron ore route. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. You can get 3 in a pulverizer with an offshoot of netherrack, which we could probably utilize to make things like lava or other things down the road. There is a way to improve that to 4. But when you think about this, this is not even ore doubling, right? Because I can smelt it and get 2, and then I can double that. That gets me 4. And this tectonic initiator requires tectonic petroleum to get the actual doubling. So that's not a good resource for what we're talking about here. The induction smelter, again, you're talking about smelting, but it's even worse. You get 1 with sand, and with rich slag, which is not the easiest of things to get, is when you get 2. And slag as a byproduct is really not good. So the induction smelter, not the best at that point in time. Now, rich slag with blazing pyrotheum, it gets you 3. So now we're up to 6 if you double that, right? So that's a little bit better. We're up to 6 iron, okay? But it requires a lot of infrastructure. So these are some of the things that I've looked at. And then I get to this. A crusher from Actually Additions straight up gives you 6. Right off the get-go, without any additional anything. That's pretty darn good, if I say so myself. We're not going to be dealing with the smelter at all. The enrichment chamber is only giving us 4, which is just doubling, right? All of that. Your macerator's also just doubling, you know, so nothing too crazy there. And your seg mill is a pretty good one, too. You can get 4, but you don't get the 6 of the actual item that you're there to find. So this is a situation where putting it through the Actually Additions crusher is the most efficient method of ore doubling that nether ore. So there is some advantages to the pulverizer. Most definitely when we look at the ores, I think it's coal, if I'm not mistaken. That gives us 3 and 4 there. And I think, was it the coal ore? Might have been the coal ore. Yeah, the coal ore itself gives us 3. So it's one of those things where we need to get this into the coal ore form, which we can use the redstone furnace for. Or, you know, this one only gives us 2. So these are the little things that I've tried to go through. You know, the mechanical squeezer is actually one of the better ones. Just saying. But I'm not going to go that route. See, and then you have this. The extra utilities crusher gives you 4 per coal ore. So you smelt it down, you get 2. Now you put it through a crusher from extra utilities. That gives you 8, right? 8 total. Huge return. So we also need an extra utilities crusher, right? So there's a lot of little things where there's improvements and better options through different methods, right? Of work. Okay, so I can't remember which one it was for the pulverizer. I honestly can't. It might not be any of them, but that's fine. We need the pulverizers anyways for some stuff. I think the big one here is the gold ore will be the induction smelter because you have no gold ore. That's the one. So we need to smelt gold ore down, I think, as well. And then induction smelt gives you a chance at like rich slag. The other thing too is or no, this one goes through the pulverizer. Yeah, pulverizer, I think. Hold up. This is the one that goes through the pulverizer, the gold ore. Gold ore goes through the pulverizer because you get cinnabar, right? I don't care how much gold you get cinnabar. This is a fantastic resource. We will take advantage of it. Whereas the nickel is going to go through the induction pulverizer? Induction smelter, I thought. With the cinnabar, does it not? Oh, it's got to be smelted down too. So we got to smelt down a lot more things than I recall. Yeah, this guy here with that cinnabar, right? So those kind of work in hand to get us the platinum. So there's a lot of good little details. Sorry for ranting so long. I only have so much time tonight too for the video. So yeah, there's a lot of little nuances and stuff like that I want to set up out here. Now, these are all going to start to consume a ton of power, right? All things considered, these are going to start to really chug through our power system overall. I haven't decided either where I'm going to put them. We have power there. It doesn't really matter. I have this massive wall, and I kind of like this big, massive wall here for some of this stuff, right? So, we can stack things like so with our pulverizers and just be like, okay, that's our roll of pulverizers. And then we can do, okay, there's our row of redstone furnaces, for example. And we can kind of keep going down the line. And I'm going to leave a block in between each because I'm thinking of having a storage drawer as, an output for all of these, right? So if we're processing 4 different things through there, you're going to have a 2x2 drawer kind of containing all of it, right? So, and then we have, for example, our crusher, right? Pretty straightforward. Our mechanism, such, all of that type of stuff. So this is going to be our ore or our mined goods produced area. Okay, or at least that's my thought process. I don't know if this double furnace is going to be faster or not than, say, the redstone furnace. I don't think it will, but I have one because I made it for the quest, so we might as well take a look, right? Speaking of quest, we got some poutine. Poutine's good. I like poutine. We got an observer from Minecraft. We got some pemmican. I don't think I've eaten those yet. And mob imprisonment tool. Well, good. I just made one of those. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. So we got a few things, which is great. A couple more loot bags here. The next is the fractionating still, which we definitely need to do. So that's great as well. And that'll allow us to kind of branch out and get things like the sawmill, the induction smelter. Sadly, you have to go through all of these. I don't really need a sawmill, but it's okay. There is some things that we can utilize it for, so I'm not too concerned. Storage upgrade status, pink cherry sapling. All right, not the best rewards, but it's fine. So let's just see. We're pretty much, I don't know what I'm doing with these yet, but I did want to build them this episode. Okay, I wanted to build at least something this episode for you all. And, we're going to have to wire them up and get them configured as well. I might move them down one because I guess I can just facade. That'll be fine. So the other item that I want to make is that fractionating still, because I really want to start processing our resin, not for fossil fuels, I don't think. Yeah, that's naphtha into refined. That might be potential, right? So This guy, naphtha, to make that you need, yeah, that's the liquefied coal and such, right? Not the resin route that we're looking at. So I want to make a fractionating still and get this guy up and running so we can at least start producing our resin as it starts building up here. I don't know how many I'll need, so we'll kind of evaluate that as we go here as well. Might as well eat that new food. Haven't eaten it before. So let me do a quick little break here. I'm going to get a couple of things together, and then we'll make a fractionating still, or maybe two. I might even make two, and then we can go from there. Alright, so I think we have everything that we need. I'm going to make two of these guys, just to kind of get us on our way more than anything else. And that's going to complete another quest, which is great. I love crappy loot boxes. Oh, ice cream. Beautiful. I haven't eaten ice cream yet. There we go. Ice cream eaten. Beautiful. Alright. I also made a whole bunch of fluid ducts and servos. And the main reason being is I think I want to do all my processing down below. It took me a while to kind of decide like if I wanted to do this or not. Just was kind of sitting here a little bit and going, do I not? But yeah, I think I want to send them down. I want to keep it decently clean up here. So, and I would like to try to keep my wiring somewhat tidy. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I was actually joking with again, one of the regulars in Discord. I'm just like, I'm gonna build all the things and it's gonna be a mess. And he's like, no, don't say it. So yeah, one of those things. So what we're gonna do is, so we have that as the output. That's good. Auto output enabled. That's what we want, right? Okay, yeah, so we have resin going in there. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, auto output enabled. Great. And I'm pretty sure they come configured automatically. Now, we want to avoid transferring between the machines. So I'm going to go around quickly and make sure we disable those ones anyways. Because we don't want to go back and forth, right? I don't think they do. I think they're smart enough. But, yeah, I'm not going to risk it. So as you can see, we're getting resin into these pipes. Now, it's not the fastest loading of resin, basically. So I may put servos on there. I haven't decided yet, though. Okay? So we may speed it up, basically, is what I'm getting at. But we'll see what the fractionating stills can handle. This is, this should be an okay amount of resin. All things considered. You know. It should be okay. I'm not going to say that it's going to rewrite the world or anything like that, but it should at least be okay. Okay? So, up here, we're going to just connect in our pipes, kind of like so. And, they're kind of an awkward shape, but I think we'll just connect up these ends, like so. And then we will have one fractionating still for this side, and one for the other side. Now, where does this happen? I think I'm going to bring it all the way down. I think I'm going to bring it all the way down to the bottom. So these need to connect, and I think I'm going to connect them on the back side, like that. And we kind of have our power systems there. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to go to the farthest corner here, and this is where we're going to bring down our setup, okay? So all of this is storage too. You got to remember that. All of these pipes store a certain amount of liquid, okay? So what we'll do is we'll have this, and then I'm going to set up at least a fractionating still on both sides. Kind of straightforward, nothing too crazy. And this is going to become blue, obviously. That's our input of our resin, so that's good. And I don't know what all we're outputting and where yet, so we'll figure that out. I think we want yellow out the side. I'll probably do, like, I might do just a single storage drawer with a void upgrade for both, because that'll give us 2 stacks. That's probably more than enough. And then our output is going to be to that side. Okay. These ones here we'll disable for now. Nothing too crazy. No, that needs to be red. There we go. Okay, good. Now, I do have this wonderful thing called a red print, and we should actually use it here because we just kind of configured that. But basically, you use this on a block to copy its settings. So, bam. Now I clicked on that, and you can see that the setting output was automatically transferred. Now, of course, this output doesn't really work for us because it's the opposite. But it's a little bit easier to fix, like so. So, first things first, let's get our resin into our fractionating still. Beautiful. Resin going up. Resin is full in both. That is great. That is exactly what I wanted to see. And then from there, we need to run power, obviously. So we need to run some XNet because that's our main power source for pretty much everything. This one will go on the bottom just because it connects up easier. Good. I'll probably have to make a connector as well. It's been a little bit since I've made a few of those, so we'll dabble into that as well. Let's just go. Is it 3? 1, 2, 3, and it's the 4th one over. Okay, I'll remove that guy too. There we go. Okay, so this guy, boom, 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 and boom. There we go. And to get underneath here, sadly, I have to break another block. So, yeah. Okay, good. So let me wire these up for power, and I'm going to get the drawers as well as the upgrades that we require, and we'll get this set up at least started so that we can start accumulating some tree oil overall, right? But yeah, a lot of our power generation, almost all of it's, I'm planning on happening over there. So I think that'll help streamline our whole power identity that we have, or lack thereof. So let me get this set up, and at least we'll start producing some tree oil. All right, we should be able to get this connected up. I got a whole bunch of connectors. I made more cables and all that stuff too. So this will be fractionating. We'll just call this still 1. Still 1 and still 2, just for now. And hopefully I'm hoping that we have more of these, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see how much that produces and how much we save and how much we gain and all that kind of stuff as we go. Okay. The other thing too, like this will be broken, and then we'll have another connector there, and that one will be called. Can I click on it? I don't know if I can. Perfect. Okay, so this will be Rosen. Very nice. Get that going, and we're going to go boom boom. So downgrade. Void. Beautiful. We're also going to lock it like that. Boom. We'll do the downgrade void. Excellent. I think that's exactly what we need. And this guy here will have the same thing where we have this. And then these will be feeding into our main system back at the base, right? So all in all, these will all work their way back over there. But it's one of those things, okay? So these will be some minor details, and then we'll get into some more major ones as we get a little bit closer and get some things configured up a little bit better. So it's going to look like that. Isn't that much more beautiful? Get a few things placed back down there, so that's good. This guy's almost full. That's excellent. Good news, everyone. Okay, so all we got to do is supply power. Very easily done. Thermal expansion seems to be mostly at the bottom, which is kind of cool. It's easy and fast to at least get that done. So we should be inserting power into both of those. Our power system's going to take a little bit of a hit, but not too bad. And as you can see, it is starting to process it into tree oil. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is exactly what we want to see. This rosin is basically going to go in there. and this one into there. And of course, we got the beautiful reward as well. And it'll keep the rosin flowing into these drawers, which is great. So it'll keep everything nice and easy, right? So, yeah. Very, very nice stuff. Oh, speed upgrades. I will gladly take those. Those are good. So, yeah. So, basically, we're going to accumulate tree oil, which is fantastic. The next step will be we need to remove said tree oil and put it into, I think, just one of these compression dynamos. So, I think compression dynamo 2, I'll set up with tree oil. Now, we should be able to do this pretty easily, I think. Actually, I don't know if I can. I think I'd have to. Yeah, I gotta pipe this out into something, which is a little annoying. Can we just do this, though? So if we go down here on number 3, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, we'll disable it first, and then we're going to be extracting, okay? Now, we don't really have a place for it to extract, but it should be extracting the tree oil in general. And maybe our red doesn't need to go over here. It now needs to go on the bottom, right? Yeah, so that'll be our access point there. Where is it putting it? Oh, it put it into the dynamos. Okay, that's fine. Did I not specify on that dynamo? I didn't. Okay, I already prepared for that. So, our tree oil went into this dynamo. So now we're producing out of that dynamo. This one's going to be our ethanol one. And that's good. That's very good. I'll set up this one the same. So our tree oil will be exported as required into that dynamo. Cool. So that'll be our first priority. I'll probably want to get a tank of tree oil. But let's also quickly check on our resin upstairs. I don't think it's doing all that hot. We're probably running a little thin. It looks like all of these are pretty much empty. So, yeah, we'll see if they keep up, all that kind of stuff, before I look at upgrading any of the lower machines overall. But it looks like both are 100% empty on the arboreal. So, basically what that means is they've emptied all of their goods into these pipes and into the still. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think we're going to burn through the tree oil too quickly. You can see that it looks like we're accumulating, but we'll find out soon enough. I'll have to also monitor our ethanol to see if we're accumulating there as well. I think this is a really good way to at least get some passively generated power overall, without just relying on solar panels and such. So, yeah, very good stuff. The other thing, too, is we could actually upgrade this and lower the power, right? So, if you look at this, we're making tree oil. We're gaining tree oil, which is good, but this guy's producing 360. Both of these are using up 100. So we're not being overly efficient. This is only a net gain of 160 RF, and we're using resources. So not the greatest thing having 2 of these, but we'll see how many dynamos we can supply with these 2 stills, right? I mean, this one stopped now, so now we're gaining 260, which is nice. But that also means that we're not fully utilizing our tree oil. And this one's going up as well. So I can probably add another compression dynamo now to our system with tree oil and maximize on that a little bit more. So, yeah. Anyways, that's about it. I'm going to wrap my head around all this stuff. I need to configure some things. I need to have like a dump chest of resources and whatnot. I need to just think about it a little bit further. And then hopefully next episode we can dive into at least some of this processing line as well. I'd like to definitely get the one where, you know, we're at least getting our ores and whichever ones we need, like the gold, to be smelted, right? So that we can smelt these up so that we can get them, you know, working in our favor. And it looks like there's no redstone. A redstone furnace requires a flux anodizer. Yeah. So I guess the only way that you can do it with the redstone furnace is with that upgrade. So we might not be using that one, for example. And it looks like, well, in the crusher you get 6. That's pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't really look like we have a good source for smelting this down at this point in time, does it? Outside of just a standard old furnace. The induction smelter would work okay, but not ideal. Crusher. Yeah, we can't even use the powered furnace for this. So, kind of, okay. So they thought of a lot of this stuff, at least until you get to the alloy smelter. That's good to know. We could do induction. I mean, that's not really worth it. But again, I don't know if we even really need to, like this flux anodizer. That's not that expensive. Yeah, we can make that. So, yeah, we can make this, and that way we can at least get it on our system down there. So, yeah, pretty darn cheap. Nothing too crazy. So, anyways, that's it. I'm blabbing on and on when I don't need to. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully keep on trucking, right? Keep on trucking more and more videos all the time. So, that's it for me. Bye-bye for now. I'm going to sleep because our solar panels. And I'll catch you next time.